Welcome back to the Reading and Writing Skills video lecture series. This time we're going to focus on a seemingly easy punctuation mark but can often be confused with the dashes. We call that the hyphen. This is the baby among the three types of lines that you see or use in writing. Now the hyphen is similar in appearance to the dash, but it is shorter than the N dash. The N dash, again, E and then N, marks a span of time or a range of numbers, but the hyphen has a different function. If your word processing material or typing, one hyphen, if you press the hyphen button in your keyboard, pardon for that. As an aside, maybe you'd want to subscribe to this channel. One hyphen acts as a hyphen, but two act as a dash. Remember that. Okay, just a piece of extra information. If you want to type an N dash, the one that's used for marking spans of time, you type two hyphens consecutively and then make sure that you place it after a number. So you type first, let's say 3, and then space, two consecutive hyphens, and then space again, then let's say 10, and then space. Automatically, Word should be able to conjoin the two hyphens together to form one M dash. Now, if it's an M dash, E, and then M, you simply type the two consecutive hyphens immediately after the last word of your initial sentence or phrase. So let's say mechanics. So type mechanics and then don't add any space. Hold your horses. Don't add any space yet. So let's say mechanics, the last word in the initial expression. And then immediately press it twice, the hyphen button. And then type the next word. Let's say are great. Okay, R. Alright, A-R-E, and then space. Automatically, the two hyphens should form an M dash, the proper M dash. If your word software doesn't do that, maybe it's outdated. It's supposed to do it, since by now you should be using at least Windows 8 or Windows 10. If not Windows, maybe in your Power Mac devices, that's possible. Okay, computers nowadays, all of them are expected to be capable of such automatic transformations of hyphens, because look at technology, it's constantly evolving. So that's another byproduct of this lesson. So you see, mechanics, they can take us anywhere, from English writing to technology. Now, let's get back on topic. Use the hyphen when writing out the numbers 21 through 99 only. Okay? We're being exact here. We're dealing with numbers. So other numbers are exempt. Fractions. Now, if it is used as a noun, now this one-third is an adjective here, but if it's a noun, we remove the hyphen, okay? Kill, like this. Use of hyphen after a prefix that is followed by a proper noun or adjective. How is that, sir? Pro-American. I think this is self-explanatory. I mean, you've been accustomed to using prefixes, right? I'd be surprised if you aren't. Use a hyphen in words with the prefixes all, ex, and self, and in words with the suffix elect. So all around, ex advisor, self satisfied, treasurer elect. Make sure that a complete word follows the prefix. When a prefix is combined with only part of a word, no hyphen is needed. Now, how is this, sir? Exceed, the first one, is improper. Why? Because it's really written as one word without the hyphen. So why do that? Use a hyphen to connect two or more words that are used as one word, unless the dictionary gives a contrary spelling. Now, this is one of the confusions here. You're not sure, for example, student athlete, is there really a hyphen in between? Again, use what is commonly used if ever you don't find it in Webster, in Oxford, Cambridge, or whatnot. Okay? But to play it safe, if in case you cannot confirm with other source materials, might as well use the hyphen. That was the advice given to me when I was in elementary. Use a hyphen to connect a compound modifier that comes before a noun. Now, what is a compound modifier? Okay, it's a modifier that's composed of at least two words that modify the noun next to it. The well-attended program. Well-attended is the compound modifier. It's used as a modifier for program. What type of program? Well-attended. So we conjoin well and attended with the use of the hyphen. Are never to be forgotten. Yes, you may use more than two. I think implicitly you're aware of this construction. Never to be forgotten, forget me not, do it yourself, laundry. These modifiers are marked with the hyphen. When a compound modifier comes after a noun, no hyphen is needed. Okay, like this. The after-school meeting went well. Yes, after school is the compound modifier, modifying meeting. But in the next sentence, we had a good meeting after school. So after school is no longer a compound modifier, but it acts as a prepositional phrase. Now there's an exception. If the dictionary spells a word with a hyphen, the word must always be hyphenated, even if it follows a noun, even if it occurs after a noun. Some of the club members are old-fashioned. Old-fashioned by default is hyphenated, so even if it comes after members, we still put a hyphen. Remember that. The dictionary is boss when it comes to mechanics. Do not use hyphens with compound modifiers that include words ending in "ly." You know, this is one of my realizations. Let's say beautifully made. Beautifully made need not be hyphenated because beautifully ends with the inflection ly. Badly damaged. Extremely quick. East Asian literature. New England cooking. These need not be hyphenated. Yes, how come East Asian too is part of the rule? Because it's a compound proper adjective. Okay? So we need not conjoin the two with the use of the hyphen. Now, to clarify, if ever you revisit one of my video lectures, the one on capitalization, you may, if I'm not mistaken, I inadvertently put a hyphen in between the words Anglo-American, Afro-Asian. Okay? The reason why I've put that there is because I presented them as prefixes. Okay? That's why there's a hyphen there. But actually, because the two words, they both refer Anglo-American. Afro-Asian, they both refer to ethnicity. But in this example, East and New don't refer to any ethnicity. These are adjectives. That's why they need not be hyphenated. So I hope I have clarified the discrepancy. Occasionally, a hyphen is needed to prevent misreading of a particular word or group of words. We use it to avoid confusion. We also use a hyphen within a word when a combination of letters might otherwise be confusing, like in this case, bell-like instead of 3 consecutive L's joined together without any hyphen. Reform versus reform. Now the difference here is made. The hyphenated reform, okay, is used to distinguish a word that means reshape or rather than social transformation. Okay, the hyphenated one refers to like the physical reformation. The non-hyphenated word refers to social change. Now we use a hyphen between words to keep the reader from combining them erroneously. Because some words tend to be combined inappropriately, like this one, 6-foot soldiers. Now, if you mean 6 soldiers who are on foot, then the hyphen should connect foot and soldiers together. But if you're referring to their height, then you place the hyphen between 6 and foot. Let's have some exercise. I want you to determine whether or not each sentence requires a hyphen. Again, feel free to pause and play depending on your pace and preferred difficulty. Ready? Begin. Able-bodied, well-loved, hyphenated. No hyphens. Hernando Cortez. Far-fetched. Now, what does far-fetched mean? Seemingly impossible. Quick-witted. 99, recalling the rule 21 through 99. No hyphens. Sought after is the compound modifier for secret. Post-Renaissance. Mass-produced. Greatly ends with Lee. Okay, with Lee. So no need for hyphens. In general, avoid dividing words at the end of the line whenever possible. Okay, this is, this hurts my eyes. But sometimes, if it can't be helped, especially if you're writing the longest word in the entire language, then maybe you have to really divide it. But when you do, please divide it elegantly with the use of the hyphen. Now, when you divide words, you have to know the syllabication. Okay? Use a dictionary if you're unsure of the proper syllabication of words. So that's the basis for determining where to place the hyphen when you divide words that cannot fit the same line anymore. Like in this example, the National Honor Society is an honor organization. So ZA, so when it's syllabicated, shun is separate from organize. That's why we mark the break here. Hyphen and then proceed to the next line, write TION. Now be sure that you place a hyphen only at the end of the first line, not in the second. So this is wrong. Take care not to divide one-syllable words. Yes, even if they are long or sound like 2 syllables, if it's only one, do not attempt to divide it anymore. Now, if a one-syllable word does not fit in the space remaining on a line, then the most practical thing you can do is leave the space open and put the word on the next line. Accept it. Because dividing the one-syllable word will just cause confusion. So some examples are through, rhythm. That's why it's very important to know the proper pronunciation of words. Do not divide a word so that a single letter stands alone, even if it is correctly broken into syllables. Alone. Ready. You should not let A and Y get lonely. That's why even if they're correctly syllabicated, they ought not to be separated like this. You'd leave one letter alone? That's so harsh of you. You should also avoid placing ed alone at the beginning of a new line. Okay? Not like this. Not inflections as much as possible. Proper nouns and adjectives. No, we do not divide proper nouns again, proper nouns and adjectives, because it's a form of respect for the ones bearing such names. Okay, we respect their names. Other than capitalizing them, we retain their unity. We do not divide them. Now, divide a hyphenated word. Now, what if it's a hyphenated word that you're dividing? Simply place the next word in the next line after the default hyphen. So here, it's incorrect because sacrifice is divided. No, it's incorrect because the default hyphen is after self. So if one intends to divide this into two, then place the hyphen as the last symbol in the line, the last thing that the reader will see, and then place sacrifice. Okay? Place sacrifice in the next line. That's the correct mechanics. So my reference once again has always been Forlini, Prentice Hall Grammar and Composition. I no longer scouted for exercises for practicing the use of hyphens because to me it's quite basic. My intended audience for this video lecture series is the grade 11 students of the senior high school program here in the Philippines. Now, my expectation is that they should already know how to use these simple punctuation marks. Yet again, I also acknowledge that students have different proficiency levels. Now, if you want to practice hyphenating more, simply bear in mind the rules and then apply such practice in your daily writing. Never let any day pass without having written one paragraph if you really want to get better at mechanics. So stay tuned